Well, here's something I've never done before. Actually summon Father Gascoigne before I fight him as a boss. Let's see what that's like. Also, I love that because I'm starting the game with 40 plus insight, the sky is already pretty red and awful looking. Yeah, there it is. I'm excited. Oh man. That shriek. Alright, Gascoigne, show me what you got. That actually hurt. Did you stagger him already? This guy really has HP in the New Game Plus. This is a plus 10 cleaver. I deserve that. There's a sight, man. Just slam dunks me. Yeah, I don't know if I'm liking what you're doing to my buddy, cleric. Haha! Didn't like that much, did you, pal? Oh my god. You know, Ludwig's Holy Blood is alright. Damn, he just wrecked the carriage. I actually really don't want Gascoigne to die because this boss is proving to actually be kind of difficult. Got him right in his big bestial head. Yeah, there's the heal, which means I gotta break you again. Get wrecked. Boom. That was actually more difficult than I thought it would be. But we got him. Thanks, Gascoigne. He'll be ashamed to fight you as a boss. Goodbye. No drop because I get to just keep the badge, which is kind of nice. Oh well, that's that. That's what happens if you summon Gascoigne. That's kind of cool. Well, we're back in the Hunter's Dream. One thing I immediately noticed is that Chalice's stay set, which is great. And another, I suppose this might have been a perk for getting Gehrman's badge, but I can just buy Ritual Blood 5 and Tomb Mold 5. It's expensive, but it's doable. Well, I have slain Father Gascoigne, and now I can go and talk to Viola again. Or Viola's daughter, I should say.
Hello, Mr. Hunter. Still can't find my mum.
Now, this time I'm not going to hand over the brooch.
Oh, okay. I can wait. But isn't there something I can do? Maybe Mum and Dad are stuck out there, waiting for me to come and find them. What do you think, Mr. Hunter?
Now, I could always tell her to go to Odin Chapel, but she'll never actually make it there. She'll die on the way and drop the red messenger ribbon, just like I got in the Let's Play. So, instead, I'll tell her to go to Yosefka's clinic, because she will make it there.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I love you almost as much as Mum and Dad. And Granddad.
Man, that makes me feel terrible.
Thank you. I love you all.
Her whole existence is just miserable. And again, consider she would have said that if I'd sent her to the chapel, and she would have died on the way. It's so depressing. Anyway, what happens if you send someone to Yosefka's clinic? Well, we'll get to that later. Oh yes, and before I forget, I didn't actually take a look at the brooch, did I? Or at least the gemstone it becomes. I believe we have seen the brooch. A woman's bright red brooch engraved with the name Viola. Perhaps the jewel is a gift from a hunter? Used to change into a droplet blood gem that fortifies any weapon. With the proper workshop tool, various weapons can be fortified, so I'll use it. And we get the red blood gem, which I've never seen before. Physical attack up 2.7 and rally potential 1.8. This is a very early game gem, so it would have been cooler back then. Created from a bright red brooch, this blood gem strengthens the effect of rallying. A quintessential hunter skill, rallying symbolizes the battle-worn hunter who is often the only thing standing after a bloodbath. Most definitely, and here are our 3 super special quest blood gems. Anyway, like I said, we'll take a look at Yosefka's clinic later. Well, here we are back in the beginning of the game. I sent Viola's daughter to Yosefka's clinic, so let's see what Yosefka has to say.
Oh, hello. You're all right. Very good. She's safe with me now. I presume you're to thank? The treatment is going well. Stabilized, for the most part. Fascinating, really. Here you are, as promised.
Lead elixirs, and I got a little insight.
Oh, thank goodness you came. Be a dear. Find me some more.
I love how creepy that is. Viola's daughter was not in need of treatment. And Yosefka's like, oh, fascinating. Ooh, give me more. Now, for the record, it'll go like that for the other patients, except that she'll give me numbing mist instead. Well, eventually I'm going to go into the back of Yosefka's clinic and give her a little talk. Well, here we are, about to enter the back of Yosefka's clinic. Just kidding, we're in it right now. And there's a Celestial Emissary, which is, you know, not actually that. Really? Oh. Okay. Formless Odan. Yet this particular creature was not here in our first playthrough. It is implied that this was Viola's daughter. And Yosefka finished experimenting on her. We've seen Formless Odan before, but yeah, there's a tragic tale. I think we should have a talk with Yosefka, if I can remember where her room is.
Ah, moonlit scents. How did you worm your way in here? Very unfortunate. I had such high hopes for you. Well, I won't make any excuses. Would you mind leaving us alone? Things need not change. You'll do the rescuing, and I'll do the saving. But if you refuse to leave... Oh well. I've always wanted to try my hand on a hunter.
Okay, I think that's it. Now, if I were to have approached her, yes, she would indeed have become hostile. But because I backed off, I'm actually allowed to continue her quest. So let's see what happens if I go back to her from the way I'm accustomed to talking to her. Let's see what happens there.
Oh, hello. Still alive, are you? I need more patience. There aren't many humans left, I know, but find me every last one you can. We must find a way to surpass our own stupidity. You're one of the bright ones. Don't you see how much this means? Yes. If you find I'm dependent...
There we go. Yeah, so I backed off and she's willing to continue this creepy operation. So I could send her the the lonely deer, the bitter old woman. I could send her the guy who thinks that everything I say is a lie. I could send her both Ariana and her sister, and I could send her the transformed man. Amusingly, she gives me beast pellets for the transformed man. But there's Yosefka's story. I can send her patience, and she'll turn them into those creepy celestial beings. Well, here we are with a lonely old deer.
Now what is it now? I'm much better than this.
I found you a nice safe place, Yosefka's clinic.
Well, what do you know? And outside. Well, don't you go?
There we go. Well, here we are back in Yosefka's clinic. I have sent her the lonely old deer, and let's see what I've gotten for my trouble.
Oh, hello. You're alive. Good. I've received another patient. This time, I'll be trying old blood. I've achieved much, and I owe it all to you. Take this as thanks.
Yeah, now this one's interesting. Normally, like I said, she gives me numbing mists, but now, because I found her out and am willing to continue the operation, she's giving me 3 blue elixirs per patient instead.
Custom made. And cheers to the discovery of kinship. Doesn't it make you feel warm inside?
Man, that's creepy. And I like how I get insight each time. Here we are elsewhere in Yosefka's clinic. Now, you may recall I had mentioned earlier that if you send NPCs to Yosefka's clinic instead of the cathedral ward, then Yosefka will experiment on them and turn them into these things, the celestial emissaries or mob, or whatever you want to call them. And you could tell that that's what happens, because if you kill them, then they drop items that you would have gotten during their quests. But then there's this particular one I killed. Yosefka's blood vial. This has a really interesting implication. Remember, at the very beginning of the game, Yosefka offered you her blood vial, and you could come collect another one whenever you wanted to, if you had expended the previous one. But why does this one have it? Well, what apparently happened here is that someone, or something, pretended to be Yosefka. They already experimented on Yosefka and turned her into this. And that's what happened. That's what I killed just now. So the Yosefka we talked to in the very beginning of the game is the real Yosefka, and the one we talked to for the vast majority of the game, once we unlock the ability to send people to particular havens, was an impostor. Not only that, but look at where we are. You open this door, go downstairs. First place in the game. This is where you meet Yosefka for the very first time. That's where she always stood. So the imposter was found in another room. It's very unsettling. The first NPC we meet in the game was killed and replaced very early. And not only did we have no idea, but a lot of people might not even figure that out at all. Here we are in Yosefka's clinic, but this time I have not acquired the Cainhurst summons, and she is not prepared to see me. Or is she?
This won't hurt a bit. Right as rain. Stay still. This won't hurt a bit. I'll soon have you right as rain. Just die. Enough. Now stop that.
She's clearly been doing her research. She has that. Really? Ow. Not as planned. I'm caught on furniture. I like that part where I'm caught on furniture. There we go. This is actually a relatively tame fight, too. I'm just getting caught on furniture. It's over. Odin Writhe. Have I gotten that one before? Maybe not. Oh, I like that. Visceral attacks restore Quicksilver bullets. A carol rune that transcribes inhuman sounds. Writhe sees a subtle mucus in the warmth of blood and acknowledges visceral attacks as one of the darker hunter techniques. Visceral attacks restore Quicksilver bullets. Human or no, the oozing blood is a medium of the highest grade, and the essence of the formless Great One, Odin. Both Odin and his inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously seek the precious blood. Well, that's pretty cool. I actually got a unique rune from this. I expected the cool flavor dialogue. I did not expect the rune. Then we have this gentleman. Remember this guy? The League.
Ah, and I am Volta, members of the like any. Haven't you seen it sentence thee? What do you say?
Join the League.
Yes, and not just hunt.
Now, I would have received a rune for this, but I already have it.
No, by the oath of all, the League.
Crush the vermin.
And
Crush the vermin. Okay. I just happened to have vermin from the DLC. I went through it again and got 2 more, so now I have a total of 5. Ugh! Damn you, vermin!
The League and this do and
Is that not enough for you, buddy?
and
That's fine. I wonder if I need to refresh the area to make that work. Damn you! What do you think of that?
the League do
Alright, alright, alright. That's fair. Not satisfied, I see. Not a big deal. Gross.
the League and
Alright, what if I reset the area?
very good. You've crushed some vermin. I'm the master of the League. I can see it in your eyes. I'm pleased. This makes you a true fellow of the League. A confederate. Now, take this stuff. A symbol of our oath. Of our blood-drenched fate.
Beautiful, League staff. And the oath.
You'll be welcomed as a true confederate. Go forth with renewed vigor. In short time, you will see how the mission takes hold of one's spirits. Hello, Confederate. Has your stomach not turned at the world of man? So wondrously wretched, and brimming with unsightly vermin, much like our very own mission.
Oh my god.
Hello, Confederate.
Now, by the way, those 2 rewards are acquired from crushing just 1 vermin. After that, you gotta go all the way to 5. And that's 5. Let's do it.
Hello, Confederate. Your eyes say all. You've crushed vermin time and time again. You've seen the filth that varnishes the world of man. Yet, you are unbroken. You've the eyes of a hunter. You have blessed the League with your presence. This was my last, most pressing task. My Confederate, promise me you'll crush all vermin to rid us of our impurities for the sake of our fellows, all blood-stained hunters of the League. My Confederate.
Alright. Now this is not yet the end, because there is a reward to be acquired, but he said this was his last task. Now I have to wait for him to leave. He's gone. Master's Iron Helm. Something I thought for sure was online only. So let's take a look at what we've gotten, shall we? League Staff. I'm not even sure what that falls under. No, there it is. Oh, that kind of staff. Hides a directory listing the names of League Confederates. This must be an online thing. The League staff... Yeah, look at that. There's a thing of paper inside the staff. I guess I was thinking staff like faculty, but nope, it's an actual staff. The League staff is the sign of a Confederate. A directory within the hilt lists the names of fellow Confederates. Members of the League brandish this staff to indicate themselves to fellow members of the League. There shall be no sympathy for those engaged in the bloody mission of the League, no matter that an oath must be taken to uphold the illusion. Oh, I guess I read that last sentence wrong. No matter that an oath must be taken to uphold the illusion. And I can't use it because it's an online thing. Oh, by the way, before I take a look at the other things, I should show you something. Whoops, here's that guy. Get wrecked. So that's how I would get the Madara's Whistle if I had played the game the way it intended for me to. But there was also the League Oath and the piece of equipment. So League Oath. Yes. Oh, and I even take out the staff. That's pretty badass. I think the original form of the oath didn't include the hand on the heart until I got the 5 vermin. Also, last thing, we have the one-eyed Iron Helm, and the Master's Iron Helm is the same damn thing. You really can't tell the difference with the picture at all. So an iron helm resembling an upside-down bucket, a single hole allows one to peek out with a single eye, which is probably all that its original owner had. But wait! The iron helm was passed down among masters of the League. Walter had in fact lost the ability to see vermin long ago. He's just one dedicated hunter, I guess. Here I am in the lecture building, on the way to the Nightmare Frontier. I had entered this room and I thought there was nothing in there, but I was looking too quickly. As it turns out, not only is there something, but there are actually 2 somethings. One is this little note, hard to see, but it's there. 3 third chords. That's a very vague hint for how to get the third ending. And there's this just when you come in. The Nameless Moon Presence, beckoned by Lawrence and his associates. Pale Blood. The Moon Presence is the final boss of the game, past Gehrman. That's the third ending thing. Beckoned by Lawrence. You know, the first vicar, the DLC boss. Interesting how all this stuff seems to tie together. Oh my god, I finally found one. Wow, I finally found one. I can't believe it. I did not know this item existed until more recently, and I had to explore a Pthumeru Ithil root dungeon, and this item may appear in, I guess, I was going to say chest, but really a sarcophagus. Ugh, it took me way too long to get this. Hours of grinding these dungeons, because it's not even a drop, it's in a chest. go find it, if you can. I'm on the 3rd floor of this freaking dungeon, too. Okay, let's look this thing up right now. I don't think it's a consumable. That wouldn't make sense, but I'll check anyway. Material key item? Yeah. Wedlock ring given special meaning by the Great Ones. Remember, this is not Dark Souls. You can't equip rings, but you can read about them. The inhuman beings, known as the Great Ones, imbued this ring of betrothal with some special meaning. In the age of the Great Ones, wedlock was a blood contract, only permitted to those stated to bear a special child. Now, this is kind of like the old Witch's Ring in Dark Souls 1 in that it serves no advantageous purpose to the player, it's just good for flavor. But I'm all about the flavor. Let's see just what this ring is for. Well, I completed Castle Cainhurst again, beat Martyr Logarius, and have entered the Vile Queen's chambers. But this time things are going to be different.
Visitor.
Uh-huh.
I am.
I know you're Annalise.
Ruler yet.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
So I'll swear oath of the Vile Bloods, why not?
Well, and we've if I.
Why not?
Very well. Drink. Feel the spreading.
I'm Vile now.
Now wheat.
Now, this is where things get interesting. I have the Ring of Betrothal. I can do this. It unlocks an option. I can propose marriage. I don't believe this works for anyone else in the game, just Annalise, Queen of the Vile Bloods, but I have an option.
Speak not those words. We have little need of a consort. Such a path would be like lead to further ruin. Thou art dear to us. We would see no harm befall thee.
I could try again, though.
Still thy honeyed tongue. The thought alone sufficeth. Thy worth is too great. Now, speak no more on the matter.
I think one more time?
Honestly.
That is pretty funny.
Honestly.
Yeah, so there you go. It's just some flavor text. That is the only thing that I'm aware of that the ring is good for. Just, who would have guessed? Offer blood drag. Oh wait, propose marriage?
We await for the...
And, you are denied, but it's still an amusing thing to try. Here we are back in the Hunter's Dream, and there are a few things that I never tried, or even thought to try. So let's get on those now. The first is a bit surprising to me, to be perfectly honest. You can gesture to the doll and just see what happens. She gives me a look like, what was that? Salutation. She actually bows in response. That's freaking cool. Huh? Yeah, she'll bow in response to the general greeting ones. But I think the big one is make contact. Hey, when you finally finish the contact, she gives you a little applause. That's pretty great. That's pretty great. So there you have it. You can make gestures to the doll, which is pretty amusing. Now, there are a couple of other things I wanted to try. One of them is... the Beast Claw. There it is. Now, you may remember the moveset of this thing. Standard enough, or we could also transform it Goodness gracious. Woof. I'm getting more beast-like all the time, right? But you know what I never tried? And I gotta see... I forgot if it's on me, or if I have to go... I suppose I'd have to go to the workshop anyway. Let's go to the rune workshop and try a little something on for size. Let's go to the memory altar, and let us... I don't think it was any of these. No, it is. The Beast's Embrace, right? Let's do that. And just instantly, I'm a beast. Put the beast claw back on. You just hear it steaming. So, I don't know if this actually changes my moveset, but I just want to see. Plus, it's cool to see me as a beast, right? Okay, I believe I am more savage in the attacks. What if I really go all out? Oh my god. That's fantastic. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's cool. Well, I think you know where I'm going to go next, then. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. First of all, let me put on the Cos Parasite, which you may recall doesn't even look like anything. We'll cross that bridge. First thing I'm going to do, just as a reminder, is put on my regular Hunter Roan. The steam from Beasthood just goes away. I'm going to run a little out so I don't hurt anybody. Equip the Parasite. Yeah, 2 hands. Oh, now I'm really powerful. Don't mess with me. This is not the fists, this is the Cos Parasite, remember. See? I swear. But we've used the Beast rune. There's another rune we have not yet used. Another transformative rune. Remember we got this from, I believe it was the research center? Milkweed. I can host phantasms as a lumen would. I'm a clicker from The Last of Us. Wow. This is my face. So... yeah, the regular animation's the same, but if I put on the Parasite... look at my hand now. Oh, wow! And if I transform? Goodness gracious. Crowd control, baby. A little slow, but... can I combo transform, I wonder? It seems that I can. What? Oh, that is just lovely. That's actually one thing I didn't try. I'll put the Beast Claw back on really quickly just because I want to see if I can do a transformation attack with it. I'm sure I can, but that is freaking cool. That's so cool. Alright, there's the Beast's Embrace. Let's just transform into an out of. That is a yes. That is precious. I have become the Beast. However, there actually is one more thing I would like to try with my Milkweed rune. Although I should mention, before I do that, something admittedly a little more mundane. It's funny, but... let me see if I can find it here. I just never bought the small resonant bell from the Insight shop. So now I did, ring this bell to help hunters in other worlds. As soon as I bought it, the sinister resonant bell became available, and you can ring it to become the enemy of a hunter in another world. A bloodstained bell discovered in the old underground labyrinth, one of the resonating bells that cross the gaps of worlds, but this one knells for misfortune and malice. The sinister bell is an object of dark thoughts. Ring it to become the enemy of a hunter in another world. Online, of course, but you know what? I bought it. It's in my inventory now. It's all good. But about that milkweed rune. Well, I'm on my way to make my use of the milkweed rune, but before that, here's Ludwig. I just beat him again.
Good hunter.
And he wants to know stuff, and I can't help him out. Except I can, so I'll put on the choir garb. I only need one piece of it, actually.
Tell me, have you seen the light? Are my church hunters the honorable Spartans? I hoped they would be.
Now, when I said yes, he was like, oh, good, and then he gave me the moonlight sword. But what if I said no?
Oh, my. Just as I feared. Then a beast-possessed degenerate was I, as my detractors made eminently clear. Does the nightmare never end?
That's so sad. Yeah, he just raves. So I'm going to leave him with his thoughts. But I'll be back. He is dead. And that thing was shoved in him. And it looks like it might have been his eye, too. I'm not 100% on that. It looks like I think it is. Hello there, Simon.
Oh. He's well and truly gone now. A tragic figure. But he will shame himself no longer. He died with his ideals untarnished. He was a true hero, and earned that much at least. Here, this is Ludwig's guiding light, the blinding thread that led and misled that consummate hero, the poor brute.
So he gives me the sword.
Do you know why the hunters are drawn to this nightmare? Because it sprouted from their very misdeeds. Things that some would rather keep secret. A pitiful tale of petty arrogance, really. High time someone exposed the whole charade. Now, go on ahead. You seek nightmares and the secrets within, do you not?
Okay, I think that's it.
Now.
Yeah. That's it for Ludwig. Well, I have some moving on to do. Well, there we are. I just slayed Lady Maria. Why am I bothering showing this again? Well, I'm actually close to the point where I would use my sweet, sweet kin blood, but before I do that, there's a little something I want to do in the Hunter's Dream. Now, it seems that when you're ready to beat the game, when all you have to do is fight Gehrman, the doll says that Gehrman is waiting for us. But this time I beat Maria before I'm ready to beat the game, so...
Good hunter, this may sound strange, but have I somehow changed? Moments ago, from some place, perhaps deep within, I sensed a liberation from heavy shackles. Not that I would know. How passing strange.
Yeah, that's in response to me
Farewell, good
slaying Maria specifically. Now, I'm not quite sure how all this ties together. The only little bits of lore that I'm aware of are that Maria had an interest in Gehrman, but she was not aware of his mania, whatever that means. And if you inspect the doll's clothes, it says that they're very carefully crafted. And the crafting, it's so detailed and specific that it borders on mania. So I don't know if Maria and the doll have some kind of connection or what. I don't think their clothes are designed to look like each other's. The doll's shawl certainly isn't. The inner part, I don't know, maybe? But it's just an interesting little bit of dialogue anyway. But now that we've gotten that taken care of, we're finally going to prepare to use the Milkweed Rune. So let's go back into the nightmare. And yes, I'm aware that I currently do not have the Milkweed Rune.
Mercy for the poor wasn't child. Mercy. Oh, please.
And we meet this gentleman.
Atonement for the wretches. Lay the curse of blood upon them and their children and their children's children forevermore. Each wretched birth will plunge each child into a lifetime of misery. Mercy.
You're talking about Kos.
Don't lay the curse.
Let's get that Kos dialogue one more time for the hell of it.
Mercy for the poor prison's child. Let the pungence of Kos cling like a mother's devotion.
Yeah, this guy's not going to pick a fight with me, and apparently, according to a guide I checked, even though this guy has a health value, I think he's utterly indestructible. I cannot kill this guy. What I do want to do is chat with the guy. So, this is the part where I make use of my Milkweed Rune. Alright, let's get a load of this guy. Hello, I look like you now.
Curse here, curse there. A curse for he and she. White hair. A bottomless curse. A bottomless sea. Source of all greatness. All things that be. Listen for the baneful chants. Weep with them as one in trance. And weep with us. Oh, weep with us.
Accursed brew. I've never seen this before.
Listen for the call. Fix your ear.
Oh, that was different.
Listen for the baneful chants. A call to the bloodless wherever they be. A call to the bloodless wherever they be. Fix your ears to hear our calls.
There we go. So I'll soon get rid of this Milkweed Rune, but let's take a look at this brand new item that I never knew existed. Accursed brew. Throw a concoction of curses at foes. And it requires 30 arcane, that's a big deal. And it scales S with arcane. Skull of a local from the violated fishing village. The inside of the skull was forcibly searched for eyes, as evidenced by innumerable scratches and indentations. No wonder the skull became student curses. They who offered baneful chants, weep with them, as one in trance. Let's use it. There. That's basically what those fishmen shaman did. So there you go. That is an item that I never knew was in Bloodborne because I wasn't aware that this look would happen with a rune. I know it said become like kin, but that's crazy. And I could talk to the fishman. Man, these guys hate Bergenworth. This implies that in the lore, the people of the college, well, I mean, we know they were mercilessly hunting people down for eyes, but perhaps this fishing village was one of their early experiments. I mean, the entire thing is hidden behind the research center, so I guess it's a dark secret they want nobody to know about. That's why Maria was guarding it in the first place. This is a dark past indeed. Well, that takes care of, I believe, all the extra stuff from the DLC. Now to beat the game once more. And now to show you the thing that I unfortunately missed in the original playthrough. I passed it when I wasn't expecting it to happen. It was too late because I went to the lantern and went to the dream immediately, but the baby stopped crying. There. Bow and disappear. That's pretty cool. That's a little bit of closure. Speaking of closure, there is exactly one more thing that I wish to show you to close out this LP. And, I never really noticed it before, but all these things are the shape of the hunter symbol. And in fact, actually, those church guys who fight with these things, without the horizontal crossbar up top, also pretty much hunter symbol. Which is all basically the Berserk brand anyway. So, we will talk to Gehrman.
Good. Now you from the...
And we will choose to submit our life.
Farewell.
He will cut off our head. And then we will wake up from this horrible nightmare. So I'll skip that, we've seen it already. Why am I choosing to do this particular ending? Well, you'll see very shortly. I wish to go to the Hunter's Dream one more time. I suppose I could have just died. Oh hey, it's the Cleric Beast. Alright, so here's our lamp. Let's beam away and go to the dream. We'll skip the cutscene because we've seen this dream before. There's the doll, we don't yet have the insight to awaken it, but the thing that I wanted to show is that you may remember that I had observed the doll kneeling at a gravestone way over there. Turns out it's the DLC gravestone, so I guess she has some kind of longing for the past. There's one other thing I wanted to look for. I want to see if I could... Yeah. This. I don't believe this was here before. And this spawns after you choose to submit your life to Gehrman ending. I don't know if we ever see the doll kneel by the gravestone in gameplay, though we certainly saw her do it in the ending cutscene. I would assume this is our gravestone, which makes me wonder how many other gravestones are ours, if any. I just found that to be rather fascinating. This game has a lot of lore going on and it's freaking amazing. Well, we have done it. We have beaten Bloodborne. And what an incredible game it is. Arguably the best Soulsborne title. I still don't know whether to choose between this or Dark Souls 1. I do have a nostalgic bias toward Dark Souls 1, but Bloodborne is really engaging with its horror vibe, and its offense is the best defense style of play. I thought this game was going to be a disaster for me to play, because I like to play heavy armor, constantly shield up types of characters, and Bloodborne really doesn't let you do that, but once you are forced to adapt, you find that it's not so bad after all. I still don't know how I'm going to play other Soulsborne titles, if I'll stick with the Bloodborne style or go back to tank. I guess we'll find out at some point, but I have to say, this style of gameplay was very, very entertaining. The main problem, though, is I still leveled up my stats based on how I played the Souls games. So, as at least one person in the comments section let me know, my character was basically a glass cannon. In Dark Souls, I could take a bunch of hits because even though I never upgraded my HP, I put a lot of points into strength, which let me wear heavier and heavier armor. So I would get HP damage reduction rather than more HP to reduce. Whereas in Bloodborne, I didn't really put too much effort into my HP. I just kept boosting my strength, which increased my attack, not my defense. So it got to a point where in the Chalice dungeons, bosses could 1, 2, or 3 shot me, and it made dealing with them more difficult than, frankly, it had to. You could argue that I didn't spend my points as wisely as I could have, but I did eventually make it through the game, so I guess there is something to be said for that. And the DLC was so engaging as well. Just like Dark Souls 1 and 2, we took a look at the past, and it's really interesting to see how levels evolved from then to now. I suppose in Dark Souls 2 the DLC didn't call back on the past of pre-existing levels, but its main story did at the very end, but Dark Souls 1, we looked in the past of a pre-established level for the DLC, and Bloodborne we did as well. And that Orphan of Kos, I mean, I understand that the entire fishing village is furious at Bergenworth for its horrific experiments, but that Orphan of Kos was the angriest thing ever. And you know, I gotta say, even though a lot of people consider it to be the most difficult FromSoft Soulsborne boss, it was really difficult, but I eventually got it on my 8th try. Whereas the Fume Knight, you can argue again, this is because of my poor choice of playstyle. I play a tank in Dark Souls 2, but the Fume Knight, man, I tried and died for hours on this guy. Because all of a sudden chip damage became a thing, and I didn't know how to deal with that. Whereas with Bloodborne, I constantly had to simply try to not getting hit. So I guess I was more practiced even before the Orphan of Kos fight, at least in basic gameplay style. It got to a point where I just had to learn what his moveset was and deal with it accordingly. That second phase, though, I swear all bets are off unless you put tons of practice into that guy. He's everywhere at once. But overall, Bloodborne is a brilliant game, and I had tons of fun playing it. And you know what? I didn't know this. Somebody on a forum had to tell me this. But they actually give you a PlayStation 4 theme for platinuming the game. That came out of nowhere. I've never heard of other games doing this. Maybe some do, but I didn't know about it until very recently. That was rather interesting too. So if you were considering maybe getting one more trophy, I recommend you go for it. Not only that though, but like I said, this game is great. It's arguably one of the defining titles of the PlayStation 4 generation. Well, the PlayStation 4 anyway. Unfortunately, it is console exclusive, but man, what a game. It would be great if it got onto other systems at some point, but at least at the time of this recording, PS4 it is, just like Demon's Souls is restricted to PS3. Still. But overall, as I said, I had a ton of fun finally getting to experience this game, and I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did playing it. Thank you very much, all of you, for watching, and of course, special thanks to Dracologist for the amazing title card. This was such an experience, and I look forward to playing other FromSoft games in the future. Until next time, everyone.